Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Music Scene Investigation. Now, I got to tell you, just sitting here in the pre-show watching the chat room is the funniest thing in the world. If you get the opportunity, join us in the chat room. We broadcast live Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT, and the chat room, perfect place to be. Hilarious stuff going on out there. Now, if you're not familiar with what Music Scene Investigation is, I certainly hope you take the opportunity to watch the whole show and find out what we're all about. We're all about helping indie musicians make their music better, offering them reviews that they can use. Very simply, indie music is submitted to us by artists from all over the world. We select 3 randomly every week for review by our panel of industry experts. We then will take and select a song of the week. Those songs of the week are pitted against each other in a Artist of the Month contest we like to call the Hit List, which takes place every second Wednesday of the month over at MSI Radio, and you can tune in for that there, which will be, in fact, this coming Wednesday is our hit list for last month. Should be a great time had by all. Looking forward to that. Now, I want to take the opportunity to introduce you to our panelists so you can get to know them a little bit better. From London, England, it is our very own Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, good afternoon to you.
Good evening, in fact.
In fact, it is, exactly. How are you?
I'm good. We've been celebrating my daughter's first birthday today.
Well, a big happy birthday to her.
Congratulations.
Full of cake.
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake. So, but otherwise been busy. I've been working on a bit of a top secret project with one of our guests, Mr. Paul Miro, on a video, which is now available to anyone who's pledged for his album. So if you've pledged for the album and the bonus material, you should get an email soon. And if you haven't, check out paulmiro.com/pledge and put your hands in your pocket, basically.
Absolutely. We encourage everybody to do that. Now, you've got some data for us from last week's broadcast. Every week we ask that our audience go to the witness page and become a witness, in essence, letting us know if our panel got it right, or at least letting us know what your thoughts are as a viewer on the music that you hear on the broadcast. So, Ian, why don't you tell us about what happened on the witness page?
Well, this week's kind of fallen back into line with us. I mean, we've had a couple of weeks where there's been an agreement with us, but disagreements on other areas of the tracks. But this week, everyone went with song 3, which was Remind Me Rich.
Song number 3. I'm going to have to grab my list here. I put that list away, and you always get me when I least expect it. You
always have it to hand. I'm just trusting you.
I try to have it to hand, yeah. It was a song called Scurvy from a group called Stepdaddy was the group's name.
Well, song 3 got it across the board with best songwriting, best performance, best mix and production, with 57% of the votes across the board, actually. Carol, you were in the 43% that voted for song 2. Well,
there you have it. I mean, sometimes everybody agrees, it sounds like.
It does. It's nice to see people agreeing with us. It means that we are actually picking out some good music that our followers agree with.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we appreciate it, Ian. More from you a little later in the broadcast. Our second panelist in-house is from New York City, Mr. Tom Chianti. Hey, Tom, how you doing today?
Oh, Rich, I'm doing pretty well. We had a little bit of scruffy weather, you might say, yesterday with tornado watches and stuff. It got pretty crazy here. I had to shut down the studio, but fortunately, no tornadoes, no witches on bicycles riding in front of my windows.
Well, that's fortunate. I'm glad to hear that. No damage in your area from the tornadoes then?
Actually, the past couple of years, there's been lots of windstorms and stuff, so it's cleared out the dead wood, and I'm wondering why I'm still here.
Well, you're here for a reason. You've got a lot of work to do over at MSI, and that's why we have a little agreement with the man upstairs to keep you around for a long time, Tommy.
Oh, so I'm last piece of dead wood in Queens.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, I like to know my place and things. Yeah.
We like it that way, too. Thanks for being here, Tommy, as always. Our guest panelist this time around is a friend of ours, and by the way, got to be really honest, a partner with Music Scene Investigation as well. We have Mr. Mark Lamdanski, the co-owner of Butterflies Radio. Mark, great to have you back with us.
It's really a pleasure to be here. Let me first say that this is the first I've seen you since we've been speaking for the last half an hour, and I love the new headphones. Kind of makes you look like the mad scientist.
You know, everybody says it's, just need to cut them in the middle, point them up, and I'd look like an alien or an old-time television set.
I think you can read my mind.
So, headphones aside, by the way, I like the way you're doing it now as well. You've gotten away from the head-mounted microphone and have gone more traditional. That's a very good thing. It allows you...
Wear headphones now. These are like big things. Look like I'm wearing earmuffs.
Well, they keep your ears warm in the winter. You save on the heating bill. It's all good. Now, over at Butterflies Radio, let's tell them a little bit about it because, as you know, a lot of indie musicians put their music here on MSI to get an idea of what the panelists are going to say, to find out how they can make that music better. Whether it's up to the grade, whatever the case is, they have a lot of reasons for doing so, and we're always happy that they do. But over at Butterflies Radio, you guys play all indie all the time, 24/7. You've got a lot of great broadcast shows that you carry over there, including MSI, and we appreciate that. So tell them a little bit about what Butterflies Radio is and why it is. I mean, what gave you the idea of going out and putting together a streaming internet station that's all indie?
Well, yes, Butterflies Radio, as our little subtitle says on our website, all indie all the time. We don't play anything except the best music from the best artists, independent, emerging artists, I like to call them, from around the world. And, I mean, we have music coming in from Indonesia, from Spain, from South America, Brazil, all over the place. As for how we got started, well, gosh, that has to be about 4 years ago, and we actually originally were not an indie station. I didn't know too much about indie music at the beginning, and I learned very quickly at the suggestion of someone else, whose name eludes me at the moment. But anyway, I started listening to some of this music, and I thought, wow, I would love to play this kind of stuff over the internet, and it just kind of blossomed from there. We started off with, I don't know, fewer than 300 songs on rotation. As of recently, we're approaching 2,500 songs on rotation. You can literally listen for many, many, many hours and not hear the same song twice. And I think we're pretty proud of that. I'll tell you, my partner and I, Carol, we love what we do. We have our show each week where we focus on a guest that we have. Someone who's on a rotation has to have a minimum of 3 songs on a rotation. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. We always have a blast. You listen, Rich.
Oh, absolutely. I really do, and really have a good time at Twitter Tuesday Live. Now, as an indie artist, how do they get in touch with you? How do they get their music submitted over to you guys?
Well, I'll tell you, we used to accept direct submissions at music@butterfliesradio.com. I know that my friend Walt over there in the chat room, Indie Music Bus, he's working on that proprietary music submission page for us. He's taking a little bit longer than we had anticipated. But right now we are accepting music through Music X-Ray over at musicxray.com. If you go to our website, click on the Submit Music link, butterfliesradio.com, you'll get all the instructions you need on how to get music over to us. We are going to be launching another Reverb Nation campaign probably within the next week or two as well. And through the last round, we received over 7,000 song submissions.
Now, let's give everybody out there an idea of the level that they're going to be playing in. The quality of the music at Butterflies Radio, on par, right at the top of the list, I think. Now, of those 7,000 that were submitted, how many of them actually made it through the vetting that you guys do through the music?
I would say about 30 to 35% have made it through.
So you're actually going after, you're not just letting anybody in the game, you're going after quality.
Oh, absolutely. We want quality recordings. We want them to sound professionally recorded, professionally mixed. We generally will not accept live performances unless it's a really, really good quality. We have kind of narrowed down. I mean, I try to cover as many genres as possible with Butterflies Radio, but recently we've noticed that our audience probably dips when we play songs like, that are rap or hip hop. So we're still accepting rap and hip hop, but it's got to be really top notch recordings or songs in order for us to take it. I would say the majority of what we get is rock, some metal, and pop. But it's got to be good stuff. I mean, I think we're playing the best of what's available out there.
All right. Now, in fact, you guys are going over and above the mark here on something I want to talk to you about. You're in the process of putting together a festival type event. This little thing that you're calling the Global Indie Rock Party. What can you tell us about that, Mark?
It's this little thing. Well, yes, the Global Indie Rock Party actually is being sponsored by a group called the Independent Music Coalition, of which you guys are a part of. The Independent Music Coalition is simply made up of a group of about currently five or six businesses and people that are primarily out there to promote independent emerging music, just like us. And we are putting together this event called the Global Indie Rock Party, which is going to take place in a local venue. It's going to be live. It's going to have 8 to 10, maybe more bands, depending on where the final venue will end up and all that. But what makes it global is the fact that it's going to be streamed live over the internet by audio and video through a network of independent internet radio stations throughout the world, and also entertainment websites that will play the video. Now, the video is going to be brought to you through YouTube, so that is also going to expose us to potentially millions of their users, their viewers over there at YouTube. So that is what's making this the global the Global Indie Rock Party. We're really excited about it. We are looking for sponsors. We do have an Indiegogo campaign going right now. You can go to indierockparty.com for some more information about that. If you don't want to be a financial contributor, you can be a contributor through other means, paraphernalia, T-shirts, equipment for streaming audio and video over the internet, whatever. I mean, we would appreciate any and all types of sponsorship to get this thing going, and it's going to be amazing if we can get it going off the ground next year.
We'll supply the drugs.
I was going to ask you, do you have a tentative date on the Global Rock Party yet?
Yeah, it's February 23rd, 2013. It's the Saturday night. Going to be down here in South Florida in the middle of the peak season. The weather that time of the year is awesome. We get a lot of tourists. People are out and about on the streets. We have a tentative location, which is Whiskey Tango Bar and Grill, located in downtown Hollywood. Prime location, lots of street traffic. They have their own clientele which come in and out of the location. It's going to be awesome.
Now, I want to clarify that we're talking Hollywood, Florida, right? Not Hollywood, California.
Yes, that is. Did I not say that? Yeah, Hollywood, Florida, it is.
Okay. All right. Now, Mark, I know that I want to get into the music here in a second, but I have one more question for you. Butterflies Radio, as we talked about Twitter Tuesday Live, we talked about the fact that MSI is over on Butterflies Radio as well. You guys also take and broadcast a couple of other shows that I want to make mention of, especially a little show that's on Mondays, which is called Indie Views. Tell us a little bit about that before we actually get into some of the music here today.
Sure. Yeah, actually, the show is called the Butterflies Radio Indie Views Artist Spotlight, and it's hosted by Kiva Johns-Atkins, who is also on our A&R team. And she does a pre-recorded show. It has to be a guest that's on our rotation. She works hard at it. She's doing a really good job. She was a novice when she started this, and each show is getting better and better. It can be heard every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time at butterfliesradio.com. We think she's doing a fantastic job. She works her butt off for us in both that venue and screening music along with Mark, Carol's husband, and Rob, who is a friend of Carol and Mark's. So we'll shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for your help and support.
Now, I want to take and get into the music right now, but I also want to, again, thank you. See Carol's out in the chat room. It's good to see her up real early. I think right now it's just a little bit after 6 a.m. there, so good morning.
And shout out to Stepdaddy as well, who are in the chat from last week's show.
Absolutely, a good time to see them. Shout out to you guys. Congratulations on last week's Song of the Week. Happy to have you with us today. Now, let's go ahead and get started with today's music reviews. So if you guys want to, go ahead and we'll take a listen to song number 1 on today's MSI. Here it is, everybody. Enjoy.
Preciso mesmo é viajar. Os dias passaram lotados demais, agindo quais jornalistas, alguns buscando entrevista, outros um ponto de vista e outros tantos somente um panorama explicado de toda uma situação. Mais um incêndio se alastra e cada um blablaseando um arroz requentado no mesmo fogão pra engolir sem mastigar. Ainda bem que tenho a chance de ligar pra você e falar com você coisas do dia a dia. Um dia a conta vai chegar. Alguns preferem acreditar que não. Reage pouco quem tem chance, e quem não tem limita-se a respirar. Que tudo bem, só alguns se dão bem, se tendo tantos tão distantes do pior que o normal. Ora, veja bem, o ser humano é mais cruel que qualquer outro animal. É, será preguiça de raciocinar. Ainda bem que tenho a chance de ligar pra você e falar com você coisas do dia a dia. Ainda bem que tenho a chance de sair com você e fazer com você tudo virar poesia. Eu sei, vai ser melhor assim. Eu tenho um coração em mim, pulsando insistentemente, instigando a ser mais realista, sem medo da vida, fletar a loucura e renovar o ar. Ainda bem que tenho a chance de ligar pra você
is song number 1 on today's MSI. Let's go over to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, your thoughts on track number 1?
Meh. I don't know. Is it French? I think he's French, or European of some kind for certain. I liked the verses. Wasn't too keen on the choruses. I mean, you don't need to know what language this was in to know that the guy was giving it his all. The singer, I liked his voice, and he really was putting everything into that track, and I liked that. And I think the guys in the chat room are agreeing with me on that as well. They're sort of saying he's got the passion. I liked the clean guitar sound. I liked the bass tone. That fretless sound was lovely, and it was very well recorded as well. The drums were just perfect on the verses. And then it went into this sort of heavy chorus, which I really didn't feel suited the song. And my biggest problem was that really fuzzy, heavy guitar sound that just sort of padding away in the background. Personally, I would have gone for a much more overdriven sound. I made it a much simpler, just sort of power chords hitting in on the bars to emphasise the point a little bit. I really didn't think it needed all them fizzy, horrible guitars, and they were horrible, and they took away from the track for me from that point of view. I mean, otherwise, I liked the simple arrangement. You know, there was nothing clouding up that mix. The 2 clean guitars going on the bass and the drums and the vocal, it worked, and it worked quite well. There were some BVs in there which worked fine. It's a well-recorded track except for them guitars. You know, the guy is giving it his all. Nice, everything's there, just that chorus, and that chorus really bugs me. Doesn't work for me.
All right, I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you so much. Now, Tom, your thoughts?
Well, I'm in a position I usually like to be. I totally disagree with Ian. I like the changes. I agree with him on that buzzy guitar. It was too low and it muddied up the choruses. But my other pet peeve was the snare sound. It was definitely the wrong snare sound for the heavy part. Otherwise, you know, I loved the vocal sound. It was dry. It was in your face. And you know, the singer was giving it his all. I liked it. It was different, refreshing, and very well recorded and mixed. You know, I have minor issues with some pannings and stuff, but that's all a matter of taste. There's nothing technically wrong with it. And then I like that it went to the heavier sound, but I think they overdid the heaviness by adding that low. I think it might have even been a synth instead of a guitar, and the snare sound. Those are my only 2 peeves about it. The guy, I think he's singing Courvoisier.
I wish I was drinking Courvoisier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it was well done, well recorded, and well produced.
All right, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you, and let's talk to Mark Lamdanski, find out what he thought. Mark, what do you think?
I'm all emotional. I mean, the guy really put a lot of passion and emotion into that song, and it's true. I don't care what language it was. Just listening to the passion he had, I think that held my attention now, and I love the concept of that jazzy feel and then switching over into a rock kind of a feel. The song kind of reminded me of, I don't know, like those old Russian ballads or whatever they're called, those Russian songs of pain. But
KGB.
Yeah, kind of like KGB type of a thing. So, but yeah, I do agree with that guitar. It was a little bit... I like the term that Ian used, fuzzy. But the concept was great. I mean, I'm a fan of both jazz and rock, so when you put them together, hey, you know, you got my attention twice. The good song. I unfortunately, you know, Carol would kill me if I added that to. I could see it in the chat room. She said 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, but she upped it to 3 out of 10. So maybe I have a chance if I wanted to add that song.
All right. I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you. And obviously thanks to Carol, too, out there in the chat room, giving her a rating. Walt is out there, too, from the Indie Music Bus. And if you haven't gotten in touch with Walt yet, you need to. IndieMusicBus.com. Go check out what he's doing. He's doing great things for indie artists all around the world, out in the Twitterverse and on other social networks, too. I call him the social networking god, which he is. He really is.
We actually had a quick chat before the show, and it was mentioned that you were doing it. Walter was doing the ratings like the bikini girl at a wrestling match. I want to know, is he wearing the bikini?
That's a good question. Maybe Walt will answer that for us while we're listening to track number 2. We'll find out. All right, here is track number 2 on today's MSI. Enjoy it, everyone.
How many times today have you wished your life away? Watch the sands of time fall slowly, grain by grain. While tomorrow isn't here, but yesterday has disappeared. And there's no point in wishing you were far away. Save the day. Save the day. Don't you wish your life away? We can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. Live for today, live for today. Time moves forward day by day. Life will stand and wait for us, so save this day. Save this day. Today won't make no sense. We're talking in the present tense, and you won't understand what we're trying to say. In each and every way, but we can't stop this slow decay. But we can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. Save the day. Save the day. Don't you wish your life away? We can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. Live for today. Time moves forward day by day. Life will stand and wait for us, so save this day. Save this day. that you can't read, so what's the use? So many things that we just can't explain.
And that is song number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. I'm being taken to school by the chat room because I forgot to let everybody know who the first track was by. Track number 1 was called Renovaroar by Eduardo Anabela, and we appreciate their sending that track in to us here at Music Scene Investigation. I apologize for forgetting. Sometimes I get caught up in what's going on in the chat room, and, well, you can't do anything from there. Let's find out from our panelists what they thought of track number 2, however. Tommy, you're first up on the block this time around. What'd you think?
I liked it, but I think they should have gone for the bigger chorus a little earlier. I wanted to hear the choruses bigger. They had a nice hook, great voice, well mixed. Again, I'm not too thrilled with the snare sound, but that's a matter of taste. The guitar solo was a little simplistic, a little repetitive. It could have been a lot more done with 2 guitars there, maybe. It's got some problems, but overall, the woman's voice was very, very good. I would still try to push her some, but, it's a tough call between muted, overstated, oversung, and I think she just was toned down a little bit, but she did really sing it good. My only complaint is I wanted the bigger chorus to come in earlier, and that guitar solo could have been a little bit more imaginative. Overall, well recorded and decent mix.
All right, Tom, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Mark Lamdanski, co-owner of Butterflies Radio. Mark, what do you think?
I'm still swaying my hands to the chorus. I felt like I was kind of in a, like a gospel. I'm sorry?
You want my lighter?
Oh, yeah, right. Actually, these days they just use their cell phones,
Yeah, keep up with the times, Tom. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I felt like I was in like some kind of a gospel situation going there. Everybody in the audience singing "Save the Day" and swaying their hands in the air, and it was really good. I liked it. I liked the hook. In some spots, to me, and I guess it could be just me, it sounded like the vocalist was kind of straining a little bit on the higher notes. She sounded a lot better on the mid-range notes. But it is a good. I like the song. I like the instrumental, the solo in the middle. This is a song, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carol. That I would add to rotation. So, kudos.
All right, appreciate that, Mark. And Ian, your thoughts on this track?
Right, I've got a lot more to say about this than the other guys. My first bugbear was the acoustic guitar. I think this is something I come back to a lot on the show. It sounded metallic, it sounded tinny. It sounds like it's just a single DI recording of an acoustic guitar. Really need to concentrate on getting that to sound thicker and wider, because at the moment it just sounds like it's a mono track sort of panned. I think it was one left and one right at one point in time. I really, really liked the sound of the clean tremolo guitars in there. That was very well recorded, and the tone was excellent. Loved that. The bass, I mean, where was it? You could hardly hear the bass. It just didn't sit in the mix at all. It was very nondescript. Didn't seem to be doing much. Her vocal was very good. I did like her vocal. I agree with Mark. She got a little bit pitchy in a couple of places, but I mean, they're not really. I'm not going to really pick on them too much because she done overall a very, very good job. I did find the BV mix needed some work. There were some nice BVs going on, but it didn't sound like they were panned and stereoed. And I would like to hear them thicker. A bit like Tom's saying, basically, bigger on the choruses and stuff like that. There were some timing issues. I think they started on the acoustic guitar is where I picked them up. And then the sort of track sort of drifted a little bit towards the end on the drums and probably the bass if he was following. The solo was very repetitive, and it sounded like it had been recorded in stereo. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but it did sound like it was either affected to sound like that, or it sounded like they'd actually recorded 2 tracks, which could explain why they kept it as a simple hook, so they could track it and pan it left and right to sort of give it a wider sound. But I would have liked to hear that go somewhere. After I'd heard that line twice, I'd had enough of it. I wanted to hear it move on. I mean, to me, it's a country sort of gospel-y type ballad. It has got a strong hook. I've got a feeling I'm going to be going to bed swaying and singing "Save the Day" because I've got to go to work in the morning. More the point, but but I would say this is a polished demo, and they really need to sort of get back in, tighten those performances up, and get a better mix. It's a good song. There's obviously a good band here, but they need to concentrate on that a little bit more.
All right. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Now, I'm not going to forget to introduce this track. The name of this track is, of course, Save the Day. The group is 3 Days of Freedom, and we appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. If you want to get your tracks in front of our panelists, very easy to do. Go to musicsceneinvestigation.com, and at the top of the screen you'll see a Submit a Song link. Click on that, and you're there. Very easy. Hope to see your song in the mix next time around. Gentlemen, we have one more track to get to, and I want to play it for you right now. So if you're ready, here we go with track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. That is track number 3 on today's MSI, and we're going to go straight over to Mr. Mark Lamdanski and find out what he thought. Mark, what do you think of track 3?
Thanks. Thanks for coming straight to me on this one. Wow. Well, let's put it this way. I guess if this song was professionally recorded, I might have something good to say about it. It sounded, I don't know. His voice was better than hers from my standpoint. She kind of went a little off on a few spots in the song. The guitar was, I don't know. It needed some bass. It needed some lower levels or something. I mean, it just was, I'm sorry. I strained to listen to it. I think it was more the quality of the recording than the actual song itself, though.
All right. Well, Mark, I appreciate your honesty on that. And Ian, what do you think of this track?
You see, I like hearing tracks like this. I think this is obviously live. They've obviously sat around a couple of microphones, and played the track. And yeah, there are mix issues, but we're going to take this for what it is as a live song. And yeah, her performance was off. I did like his voice. It's got a Dylan-ish, Tom Petty-ish sort of feel to it. So did the song overall. A bit short. Where was the harmonica solo?
Yeah.
Even if you're doing it live, you have your harmonica around your neck on one of them funny things, and you go down and give it a blow once in a while.
Okay.
And we follow that with dead silence.
What? Anyway, or as Walter says, you could always have a fiddle as well. I'm serious.
Fiddle?
You could have a fiddle, as in a violin. Not as in a fiddle. This is all going horribly wrong. But it needed a solo of some kind, and you could have gone back in, repeated another chorus, and gone out, and it would have been a good track. I like the fact that it's live. I like the fact that they've submitted it in this state, because it allows me to think on, is this a good song, rather than is this a good mix, is this a good production, which we focus on a lot on the show. This you hear in the track, and I think there is a good track here. I think it, as Mark said, if it was re-recorded and done well, it would actually be a really fantastic song. So yeah, I like this. What can I say? I don't want to comment on the mix and stuff because it is live. The only thing was that shaker. That was a bit irritating. Constantly through my head.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts. And Mr. Tom Chianti, what do you think?
Well, kudos for them for doing a one-take live song. It seems like it was only a one mic, because the guitar was obviously closest to the mic, and the vocals were, just sung, and everything was just done on the fly. And as that, it was done very well for a local club or pub. Very focused, very... reminds me of the times when my father was an A&R, when it was okay to submit a cassette with just a song and a guy and a guitar. Now it's gone so out of proportion where you have to practically submit a record to get any recognitions. This brings back the days of the 60s and early 70s. And I liked it for that. It was nostalgic. She did go out a couple of times, timing-wise, pitch-wise. His voice was okay. It didn't strike me bad or good one way or the other. The timing was pretty much consistent. They definitely needed more bottom. The different miking technique might have helped that. Again, they can't comment on the mix because there is no mix. It's one take, and let's give it all we got. And I give them a lot of credit for that. The song, I don't know. I think it could have been a little stronger. It definitely needed something else. It could have used, a fiddle, a violin, a harmonica. Any of those would have fit in there, and it was a bit short. It didn't, it was just first chorus and on through. But I give them a lot of credit, and it shows they have confidence, and I think they'll just do better from now on. But this one just misses.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. I want to say hello to Wayne from Crank It Radio out in the audience as well. Now, I want to take the time to introduce this song properly. The track was called No One Else Will Love You Like I Do. The group is TCayolle with No One Else Will Love You Like I Do. Thanks for submitting that into Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, you have the awesome task at hand now to determine a song of the week. So I'm going to toss it over to you, let you discuss it, and figure out what that song of the week will be.
Rich, you've got enough personality. Why don't we toss it back to you?
That's not the way the rules are written, Tom.
Well, I'm going to go in there first this week. I'm tired of being left on the sidelines to make the decision or just agree, and I'm going to go with number 2. It is the most polished track here, I think. It's definitely a strong song there. I think we all agree it needs re-recording, but so does number 3. And number 1, I can't really remember. So...
All right, Ian goes for number 2. What about you, Tom or Mark?
Mark, you want to
go? Sure. Yeah, I've been going back and forth. I mean, I there are some things about song number 1 that I really did like. The biggest thing I didn't like was the guitar, the fuzzy guitar. But I think as an overall completed song, one that I would add to our particularly picky set of music on rotation of Butterflies Radio, I think I would have to go with number 2 as well.
All right, so Mark reluctantly goes with number 2, it sounds like.
Not so reluctantly, but it was a little bit, back and forth in my mind. But I think it's not a reluctant decision.
Okay.
I think it's pretty emphatic.
All right, I stand corrected. Tom?
Who might have rocked the boat? I said right from the start I like number 2. It definitely needs some reworking, but out of the first song, don't get me wrong, was very well done. And the language difference may or may not have a play in it. I can't really say. But the second song, I can still hear the hook, and it just needs better production and a better mix. And the voice is killer on it. So yeah, I'm not going to rock the boat on this one.
All right, so number 2 for you as well then.
Yes.
All right, well, there you have it. Song number 2 is going to be our Song of the Week. 3 Days of Freedom with their version or their song Save This Day. So we appreciate that. We appreciate them. And thanks to you 3 as well. Mark, especially you, we really appreciate your taking the time this week.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to being back October and November.
We're looking forward to having you as well. If anybody wants to find out more about Butterflies Radio, Mark in general, head over to butterfliesradio.com. And don't forget, right, Mark, Tuesday night, Twitter Tuesday Live. Got to be there.
That's right. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And this week, if you're tuning in and you get on Skype and add us at Butterflies Radio, we might bring you in and let you talk live on the show.
There you have it. That'd be very, very cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for being with us on another episode of Music Scene Investigation. We're going to play out with Save the Day. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to head over to that Be a Witness page. You'll see the button right to the right-hand side of the video window. Let us know what you think of today's songs as well. We'll give you those results next week, so make sure you tune in then. Here it is, Save the Day by 3 Days of Freedom, our Song of the Week.
Bye.
How many times today have you wished your life away? Watch the sands of time fall slowly, grain by grain. While tomorrow isn't here, and yesterday has disappeared, and there's no point in wishing you were far away. Save the day, save the day. Don't you wish your life away? We can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. will stand and wait for us. So save this day, save this day. Today won't make no sense. We're talking in the present tense, and you won't understand what we're trying to say. In each and every way, but we can't stop this slow decay. But we can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. Save the day, save the day. Don't you wish your life away? We can lift our hearts and voices, save this day. Live for today, live for today. Time moves forward day by day. Life will stand and wait for us, so save this day, save this day. that you can't read, so what's the use? So many